Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and I hope you're having a great day. For those of you that are new to this channel, my name is Ponte and I love to sew and I love to recreate looks that I can't afford. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Today's tutorial was inspired by Sarah Jakes Roberts. I don't know if you guys know her, but she is one of TD Jakes' daughters. And she wore this gorgeous white bodycon dress with bell sleeves. Now you know I'm about the bell sleeves, right? But anyways, I saw this on Instagram and I was like, I love this dress and I have to make something like it. And so I did, and this was my version. And I wore it for my anniversary and it was a hit, and a lot of you had asked for a tutorial, so that is exactly what we're going to do today. So let's get right into it. So we want to take some quick measurements before we get started. So measure out your bicep. You can do this on your own, but if you can't, find someone to help you out. So measure out your bicep, write that measurement down. Then you want to measure from the top of your shoulder to about midway of your arm, or past, just below your elbow. And I would say half or slightly past that. So write that measurement down as well. And then you want to measure the bell part of your sleeve. Figure out how long you want it. So measure from wherever you measured past your arm to where you want your bell part to end. It can be slightly past the waist, slightly past the wrist. And yeah, it's up to you how long you want that to be. So just write that measurement down. And so we'll be using these measurements sometime later in the tutorial when we're cutting out our sleeve. All right, so let's get into it. Fold your bodycon dress in half and lay it on your fabric like so. So this is going to be an off-shoulder dress. So we want to make sure that we cut it exactly like that. So what we're going to do is just have half of your dress and fold that in. Okay. Make sure when you fold your fabric, try and maximize the use of your fabric. So you don't want this part to be like right here and you're cutting here. So we want to use the amount of fabric that we need to use and reduce on wastage. So I've laid out about this much, and I have to remember to cut out seam allowance. So go ahead and cut out your two pieces for your front and your back fabric. Next step is to cut out our sleeve, and that will be based on the measurements from your shoulder to midway of your arm and your bicep width. So I'm just measuring out what mine was and then cutting out those pieces. Now remember, this is knit fabric, so you don't have to worry about whether it should be like the exact measurement or you should add to your measurements. It should fit snug, so that's what we're going for. And remember to cut out two pieces, one for each arm. And guys, this is the top part of this dress is the exact same way you would make my original tutorial, which was the bell sleeve off the shoulder bell sleeve top. So you can go back to that video and see how to make that. So this is what your sleeve, this is what your sleeve should be looking like. Okay, so next part is cutting out the armhole. So take your one part of your dress, doesn't matter which one, and fold it in half because we want to cut out this part over here. So get one of your sleeves. You can do both of them, but I prefer to do one at a time. Lay that under your dress part and then cut out there, because what we're going to be doing is sewing up your sleeve and attaching it to the dress. So you can go ahead and do that for both sleeves. Okay, so when you're done cutting, you should have 4 bell parts for your dress. You should have 2 sleeves, and you should have the front and the back of your dress. So this is what you're going to do for the sewing part. Go ahead and close your sleeves, close up your dress, so do the front and the back, sew those up. So you're going to be sewing from the armpit down to the end of the dress. We're going to leave this part open. You have to remember that one of those bell parts is going to be shorter than the other one. Before you sew it together, lay it out like I have done here, and just make sure that your top bell is shorter than your bottom bell. So that should be good. So what's going to happen is if you fold these and you sew that part and you sew that part in, this is what you end up getting, okay? And that's the look that we are going for. So what we're going to do is attach the binding before we close up the bell. So we will lay our binding like that, sew it down, and I'll show you later on in the video what we need to do. So sew it down, then you're going to fold it in fold the back as well. And then the term that's used is sewing, stitching in the ditch, stitch in the ditch. So we will be sewing right under there so that we can catch that back fold. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. And then once you finish that, you can actually go ahead and close your belt, and that just makes life easy for us. If you have, or you can find binding that is already done up for you, like the binding is already folded and yeah, like that, you can go ahead and just sew that on. Now I'm doing this with stretch fabric, a knit. If you want to do this, like if all you have is just a woven fabric, go ahead and use that. And there's woven binding, so you can go ahead and use it. I'm just trying to use what I have. So this is what I have, and I'm gonna create some binding. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so we're attaching the black part to the white part, and sew that down. Okay, so I'm done with that, and this is what it should be looking like. So the next step is you're going to fold it this way. Fold that, fold it in half. So what we're going to do is stitch in the ditch. So try and stitch close in there so that you can catch the back of that. Okay, so go ahead and do that. So I just finished off one of my sleeves, and don't be afraid to try on what you're sewing or what you're working with to see if the fit is right. I don't believe there's anyone, unless they're machines, I don't believe there's anyone that gets it right the first time. So if you feel, okay, this seems a little too big or a little too small, well, we want it to be big so we can take it in. So for me, this is what the arm should be looking at. So remember, we got the bicep measurement. So the bicep is 5, but notice how, I don't know if you can see this, but notice how it's kind of loose here at the bottom. That's easy, just take it in. So just sew it in, or sew it to however tight you want your sleeve to be. And then once you do that, you can attach your belt part. So yeah, so I just wanted to let you know, rather feel free to try on whatever you're working with. And if you're making this for someone, hopefully they're within the same area you're in, make sure to have them try it on. Have them try it on, okay? Okay, so once you're done sewing up the binding on the belt. Go ahead and close up your belt. And the next thing is we are going to attach the sleeve to the belt part. So we want the short part to be on the inside, like that, and the longer part on the outside. So this is what it ends up looking like once it's all sewn together. Okay, so oops. I'm gonna cut all this away and just finish sewing it, but yeah, this is what the sleeves should look like. So yeah, put the short part on the inside and the long part on the outside, and you are going to attach both of those to the sleeve. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Having your sleeves, and this is what they're supposed to look like. So the next thing we're going to do is just attach the sleeves to our dress. Okay, so you can go ahead and attach your sleeves to your dress. There's really nothing to it. All you're doing is connecting this part of your dress to this part of your sleeve. So this is what I like to start from the seams, just so I'm able to match it better. You can see that. Okay. So yeah, pin that all around. That's what your shoulder part and sleeve should be looking like. Alright, so do that for the other side and then go ahead and sew that down. Okay, so once you've attached your sleeves to your dress, this is what the final look should be looking like. Okay. Okay, so the final step is just to go ahead and hem the top part of your dress and hem the bottom part of your dress. Now I suggest the twin needle or the zigzag stitch. Or if you don't have any of those two, everyone has a zigzag stitch. But you could simply use Stitch Witchery, and that was one of the products that I used in one of my previous videos. So you could get yourself some of that, and that's like a fabric heat adhesive. So all you do is just place it in there, fold it over, and then iron it, and you have a nice flat hem. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that, and then we will be done. Okay guys, so we're done with our dress and this is what it should be looking like. Okay, so that's the end of the sew along tutorial. Once again, let me know if you have any questions. You can put those in the comments. I hope this was an easy enough tutorial for you to follow along with. Just take your time, go back and watch the video if you run into some problems, and I will emphasize, try on your whatever you're working on as you sew so that you can adjust for fitting, and you don't have to do that after you finish the outfit or you get defeated because you feel, okay, it doesn't fit right. You can do that as you sew along. Okay, so I will be seeing you in the next video. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share, and I hope you have a fabulous day.